in grief and belief, and so there's horrible things and there's kind things. You know, there's considerate things. So compassion is a Neptunian factor. But to get to compassion, first we have depression. And depression is a mask for anger. Okay, it covers up. I'm really angry, but I can't do anything, so I'm depressed. Okay, then we get over anger. I'm mad as anything. I'm mad as anything. I'm mad at it, and I make these judgments. I'm so mad at that person or this thing. Why am I mad? Really, it's still an illusion. It's still a stupid thing because I'm mad because I really got hurt, and someone hurt me. But I don't want to deal with the sorrow, so I'll make a judgment. I'll get angry. I'll be mad at that person. So the anger covers up the sorrow, but the sorrow, where our pain is the gateway to compassion. As soon as if you push it out and blame someone, you get caught in the guilt, the blaming, and sets up all this tangle. If you don't, and you have compassion and you have the forgiveness, wow, it opens up in a whole different way. So can you forgive yourself for the dreams you haven't lived up to? Oh boy. This depression, anger, sorrow, compassion. Compassion is the positive result you want to get from Neptune. But you don't get it unless you deal with your sorrows. And sorrows are floating out there. There's so many things to do. They can, when they become so present in the moment, they dissolve our ability to function usually. But they can affect what we do for years and years and years. So we run into deep Neptune. Even though I don't see it clearly, it's a very prominent factor in your chart. It's a very prominent factor in life. And life without faith or belief or without romance or without adventure, what is it? But then if you're too conservative, you don't want any adventure, don't want any romance, you just want to have it control. Like, there's different people at different levels of consciousness crystallizing these things. So, okay. If it's your ability to project a vision, to dream, you know, to search for romance, to believe, when it's rising, you're going to project that. I believe in you. I believe we're going for this. Here's the vision. Here's the dream. We got to make it happen. We're pushing it. I'm pushing it. I did it for you. I'm going. So that's the projecting, the rising half of your chart, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, 12th, 11th, 10th house. That's you're projecting your dream and vision. I'm guilty of that. I'm on that side. I believe in something. I'm pushing it. I'm on it. And all my other planets are rising mostly. So everything goes when I get a belief. When I don't, when there's not a belief, everything falls apart. So without a belief, it's difficult for me to get so pumped up on it. But how do you discriminate faith or belief? How do you discriminate things that can't really be? It requires a very subtle concept of what mystical discrimination would be. So you get the spectrum from low to high, and you see all the different groups or religions and judge other people and say they're going to hell or put them in hell, and don't, I mean, whether it's Christians trying to refuse immigrants running away from war from the Middle East, that would be the same thing as for Christians. It's the opposite of what anything. You just have to imagine how Christ would be, and you would never do that. You can't refuse them, regardless of the reasons. But so it's the same. These beliefs and these things work at everywhere. Myanmar, Rohingya. There's all kinds of huge beliefs and disbeliefs and repercussions and sorrows in the world because of this. It does motivate people. It does open up a kindness and a caring. So, but at a great cost. So when it's rising, we're projecting our vision. Wow, 3 wives. I didn't meet my wives. I met who I believed they were. I met the vision of who I thought they were. I really wasn't receptive to their vision. I felt I had a vision I'm projecting and they would come along with me. Really. It's my way of processing. So when Neptune's setting, It's on the other side. You're not going to project your vision. You're going to believe someone else is going to bring it to you. Oh, your vision's, oh, I'll align to this vision. Oh, I believe it's the vision happens to you, and you're taking it in more than putting it out. And half of the world is projecting their vision, and half of the world is reacting to it. Excuse me. So you believe in someone else to let you down. You believe in yourself, and other people don't believe in you, or do or don't believe in you. So it sort of justifies above and beyond the Saturn. When it's not working, it should be this or should be that. It shouldn't be this, should be that. But when it's working, it's, wow, look at this. It's going this way. I got to live up to this. Or you meet someone that's very mystical, very visionary, has a social conscience. Oh, I got to align with them. They're doing too much of a good thing. I got to help them. And that could be as simple as feeling, I believe in my marriage or my relationship. Or it could be as simple as I believe in the kids and the results of my relationship, and I have to react to anything, no matter how bad they get. I still have to believe in them. So on the setting side, the Neptune in ninth house, believe in someone who has the vision, who has the religious vision or the ethical vision. If you believe in someone who has a social cause or has a way of investing. You believe in a partnership. You believe in the skills you have to get to be able to help other people, that you want to help other people and be part of it. You want to perform with it and express it. And you want to be able to feel secure on who you've responded to. Like if you respond, do you respond to the good guys or the bad guys? You know, if God created everything, God created the angels or the good guys. They also created the armies and the gangs and the bullies and created both sides. So I had to learn that the people, the souls aren't good or bad. There's good and bad. Like you have a kid, it's not a good and bad kid. It's good and bad behavior. So even an addict or a junkie isn't necessarily a bad person. They're caught in extremely bad, selfish behavior that no one else can get near. So there's a kind, it's like, even so, it doesn't mean you can save someone from their Neptune illusions. It's enough to just stand your own and be clear and not make it more complicated. So the low periods of my life is when I've been let down and I'm not being so visionary. I don't necessarily believe in my dreams. And then I'm driven to have to find them. And when I find them, I really get a surge of projective energy of making things happen. After this is my next wave, and then I'll be seen or whatever. Other people react accordingly. But on the setting side, I believe so. How could I believe I'll never get that person again? Like how do I make up for it? How can I atone? Like there's each way there's a point of how do I atone to get things clear. But one, you're more projecting it yourself. The other, you're more responding to it. You're buying the vision and the guilt and the sorrow. Boy, it's hard to believe that your team isn't right. It's hard to believe that if the team does something wrong, if you're part of the team, that you're responsible for it. In a marriage, if your wife or partner is stealing things and you never knew about it, but they're stealing things and they're getting things, you know, and they come up. You didn't know that. You should have suspected it, but it went by. But then they get arrested. Would you do the time with them? You know, like you wouldn't. You say, no, they're the thief. I'm not the thief. Yet you took the avails of it and you're tied into it too. Same thing. You see someone's partner has an affair, and you're friends with the other partner. Do you say something, or don't you say something? So gossip, all this stuff, innuendos, all these things about people. Social media has a very Neptunian quality to it. What's real? What's real news? There's never been real news. It's always been gossip relative to this group or that group. Wow. When on the planet, everybody comes out of their mother. We come out of our backyards. We run into the world. But really, we sleep. We get up. We have breakfast. We do a few things. We have lunch. We do a few things. We have supper. We do a few more things, and we go to bed. And everybody does almost the same stuff. And yet, wars are fought over stupid little differences. Anyway, it's easy to get lost and off track on Neptune. But the rising and the setting, the projecting your vision, or projecting your lack of vision, or projecting your guilt of vision, or projecting your identification. Back in the 60s. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, everyone identified to it. But it was a time that I felt I had to live up to that. I had to leave home. I had to go do things. Many people did it by run across that thing. I have to live up to. I have to project on it. Other people reacted to it. They took it. It almost looks like the same thing, but I had to go prove it. And it's not like, well, everyone's doing. I got to go there too. We got to go. It's not aligning with a few others. As soon as I describe it, it's not fitting the description exactly. But I'm just pointing in ways that you might see it this way or that way. But the projecting and the reacting, distinctly different. And different processes. Or at least you have the rising and the setting sides of your chart. By Neptune being on one side, there's some dreaminess, some confusion, some idealism, some guilt, some expectation on that side. So if it's on the rising side, it's on what you're projecting and what you're trying to do. If it's on the setting side, it's about how you're reacting to other. You believe you should at least react like this. People should at least be like this to you. So you have your house. If Neptune's just throwing its bias on one side with whatever other planets are there. And the other planets are much more blatant, but Neptune still has its quiet presence. So you could say if it's rising, something's not as it seems. You're over-dramatic or you're over-projecting. How can anyone take that for real when you're like a little over-dramatic? Same way when you're overreacting. I can't live without you. Of course you can. I can't. I can't do anything without you. Don't get the groceries. I can't do that. I need a drink. So many ways this play out. So as soon as you get 5 or 10 that you can see, there's another 100 or 200 that you haven't seen yet. So we're just touching the shores of this ocean of credibility, of belief, of fascination, of adventure, of romance, of dreams. And what happens when you have them? What happens when you lose them? What happens as you're trying to reach for them? It's like trying to reach for them. It's almost there. I can see it. It's almost there. I almost had it. I had it all and I lost it. It's something other than that I could have had. Well, your love you always have. It's in your heart. That's the sun. It's just leaving you belong somewhere, to a group, to a team, out in a place, and you have this belief out there. I believe in astrology. So you meet someone, that's the work of the devil, isn't it? What? So that there are different beliefs, and there's such a vast spectrum. But anywhere you go in the world, there can be waves and movements and chaos, things that go on, and difficult things can happen. But there's kindness in small actions, and there's kindness in simple ways everywhere.